Hey and welcome, I'm Hammy, and in this series we're discovering the lore, backstories and characters of Overwatch's heroes. In this video we're looking at Orisa's story, a new protector of Numbani built on the shoulders, literally, of the giants that came before her. Orisa's still got a lot to learn to both fulfill her creator, Oladella's hopes and dreams for her, as well as help dispel her line's history and symbolic fear, rooted in the first Omnic Crisis. Firstly, I'll go through Orisa's story so far. Before the first Omnic Crisis, many lines of robots and mechs worked with humanity all over the world. When Omnica Corporation apparently revolutionised robotic manufacturing, automated construction factories known as Omiums were constructed all over the world. In Africa, one such factory was constructed in Nigeria. The Nigerian Omnium started churning out robots known as OR-14s. To be used in security, Omnica's Omniums attempted to show the capabilities and limits that they could reach. They had a lot to live up to. Some suggested that Omnica's self-improving software algorithms combined with manufacturing could lead to the start of a golden economic age for the planet. This was never to be realised. Omnica was forcibly dissolved when fraud and problems were uncovered both within the company and the Omniums, and the factories were closed too. Now, symbols often take on new meanings and associations throughout history, far-flung from their origins. In the ancient Indian language of Sanskrit, for example, the word swastika means well-being. The symbol has been widely used by Hindus, Buddhists and Jains for centuries and centuries, and is commonly assumed to be an Indian sign. In Western civilization in the last century, however, it was sadly moved far from its origins. Many robot and mech designs in the Overwatch world seem to have suffered a similar fate as their symbolic intent was changed by the Omnic Crisis. Take the Bastion unit. Once a security and peacekeeping robot, this became an infamous symbol of the suffering. And the OR-14 too became a bringer of destruction and death. Edina in Hebrew means gentle. Now, whether that's the heritage of the line's name or not, the OR-14 Edina, pressed into service by the Omniums, would have gone far from their gentle namesake, as they were part of the army that besieged humanity all around the world. After the Omnic Crisis finished, these symbols of the crisis could no longer serve in their originally designed roles. People just wouldn't stand for it. Various models used by the Omnics were taken out of production, with any remaining units being destroyed or decommissioned. The OR-14, like the Bastion, befell this fate. Omnic fortunes had varied in the decades following the crisis. Some became monks, striving for meaning in this new order and world. Other Omnics were used as labour, build cities and then driven underground. In places such as Australia, they were given their own land to live on, and some have even become film stars and noted film directors. As Omnics and humans found their way to try and coexist, some humans and Omnics took it to the next level, with Numbani, the City of Harmony, becoming known as a place where Omnics and humans coexisted, and the benefits were reaped in terms of massive technological advancement. However, as the world fell safe again, and Overwatch, after 2 decades of world peace, finally fell into disgrace and collapse around 5 or 6 years ago from the present day, new threats had begun to emerge to world peace. In Numbani, following attacks by Doomfist, the city had to look to its own defence, and the OR-14 programme was recommissioned to try and provide protection for the city. The new unit, the OR-15, showed reasonable results for a short time before a catastrophic battle in Numbani's international airport saw them horrifically defeated by a resurgent Doomfist. After this, most citizens gave up on the OR-15. The programme was scrapped, with remaining units being sold off. One young girl, however, an eyewitness to the events of that day, was inspired by the robots and hadn't given up hope on them just yet. Oladella witnessed the attack in person and decided that she wanted to make a difference. An 11-year-old prodigy in robotics, artificial intelligence and other engineering disciplines, Ify had already shown her skills in winning the coveted Genius Grant from the Adawe Foundation. Putting her skills to work, using most of her grant money, and with understanding and open-minded help from her parents, she acquired a decommissioned OR-15 and started getting to work on upgrades. Lots of better programming and a custom personality module later, Ify described it as giving the OR-15s a heart, and decided to name her creation Orisa. From the Yoruba religion and language, an ethnic group native to the Nigerian area of Africa, in Yoruban culture, Orisa is a spiritual human that can always be recognised as a godlike figure, a deity due to extraordinary feats or accomplishments. Orisa has shown that she can be of service to the city, but it's very much a learning process. She's still working towards finding her optimal protocols. The Omnic's inexperience can cause her to be an occasional liability. This isn't the best way to stop traffic, for example. Fortunately, between Ify's willingness to make modifications and Orisa's adaptive artificial intelligence, both robot and creator have always been able to try and set things straight. As Orisa starts her career as Numbani's new guardian, she has much to learn, but as long as she's guided by Ify's optimism and her own growing sense of honour and duty, she will be ready to protect Numbani and try and protect her creator at any cost. Orisa certainly has the kit to make a difference, with her fusion driver weapon able to fire a hail of projectiles, a mini set of graviton charges to move enemies around, protective barriers to shield people in areas, and the ability to resist action impairing effects whilst boosting her team's damage with her supercharger. There's some serious tanking and supporting kit that the Omnic has at her disposal. As a second Omnic Crisis appears to be sweeping the world, and with the threat of Doomfist still hovering over Numbani, with the Doomfist missing from a secure escort in the city too, it looks like Orisa and her human creator may have to get to work on refining her skills pretty sharpish. Thanks for tuning in to my Orisa lore summary. I usually do these with hero interactions and voice lines too. Check out all of those in the playlist here. Orisa's voice lines and interactions will follow just as soon as I can access the files. If you like this vid, do throw me a like, sub or comment, it really helps me out. For more Overwatch series, check out the playlist and the rest of the channel. There's a bunch of lore here. Cheers for tuning in, I've been Hammy, take it easy.